please.
Hi, I'm Tom Barefoot from Warren, and I'm with the Vermont Nonprofit Corporation Gross National Happiness USA. And I did want to mention that we're asking all Vermonters in the next 3 weeks to take an online survey about your happiness and well-being, and that will make you feel better even than today's meeting is making us feel. So you can get information at the back table at gnhusa.org. But what I really wanted to say was there was a thing on the Facebook page for the RSVP for this meeting today that really made me chuckle. And there was someone asked if we could order therapy for some of these persons that may be in need. And I started to think, well, where could we take that? You know, we've built all these prisons now, and maybe some of these greedy folks need some retraining. So let's give that a little consideration as to what we might do to help some of these persons become better citizens. And the second thing I want...
Many people a day listen to my radio show. For some months I've been asking people, particularly back during the Tea Party time, to show up at tea parties, progressives, with signs that say, bring our jobs home, stop exporting our jobs, make corporations pay their share of taxes so I don't have to pay more taxes. You know, very populist messages. And what is amazing is that the feedback that I get, people call in and say, I went to the Tea Party movement, I did that, I didn't get in a fight with anybody about Obama, and they end up with 20, 30 people around them going, yeah, we're with you. Absolutely no dissent. And I guarantee you, Dick Armey is squirming like crazy, and the Coco's are totally freaked out. We need to take over the Tea Party movement because they are a populist movement, at least at the grassroots.
I believe Tom makes a very good point in building this. But what we also have a right to do, as Tom has indicated, is focus on the real problems, bring people together, and isolate the big money interests to a significant degree of funding the Tea Party. That's the political goal that we have to try for.
A couple of comments. And I think the first one and most important one is that we should all make darn sure that in the next election that nobody with an R before their name is elected to an office.
The only two solutions here is really very simple. If you want to change the nature of the Supreme Court, because we're not going to go back and relitigate Margaret versus Madison, is number one, wait until one of these guys retires. There's several of these right-wingers who are in their 70s. There's a very good chance if Obama gets re-elected that he'll be able to replace one of them, and then the court can reverse itself. The other is impeachment, which is a long shot and has to start in the House of Representatives. Ain't going to happen in this session.
Okay, two things, and I'll shut up.
Is if you are concerned about the economy, healthcare, global warming, whatever it may be, you must be concerned about the role of media in this country. And the fact that fewer and fewer large conglomerates control what we see, hear, and read. And people like Tom do just an extraordinary job against an ocean, a wave of right-wing extremism. But I got to tell you, we're working in Congress. It's not easy to try to figure out how the American people can hear a different perspective other than this right-wing extremism. There are areas in America where that is all that people are hearing when they turn on the radio. And then you shouldn't be surprised by the results, the voting results, based on that reality. So media is a huge issue, and it's something we have to do.
No, it should be. And perhaps most importantly, most fundamentally when it comes to elections, corporations have a single purpose, which is to accumulate profits. And they have the ability to aggregate wealth that dwarfs anything that George Soros or Bill Gates or even the Koch brothers by their own selves can bring to the table. 50 years from now, people are going to look back on this decision the same way they look back on, we're going to look back on Bush v. Gore, the same way we look back now on the Japanese internment cases, the same way we look back on Plessy v. Ferguson, the Dred Scott decision. They're going to say, what in the world were they thinking? And the decision won't be law anymore in 50 years. The only question we have between now and 50 years is how long we're going to wait and what mechanism are we going to use to overturn the decision. Or we, the people, will take control and assert that democracy means rule by the people, not rule by corporations. funded by small donations, not funded by DuPont, not funded by the Koch brothers, not funded by Exxon, not funded by JP Morgan. There's only one way we can do it. We can do all kinds of things to make it less bad with legislation. The only way to overturn this decision is with a constitutional amendment. So we're going to have to work for this. It's going to be hard, it's going to take some time, but there's a gathering movement that's behind it, and we are going to win a constitutional amendment. Talk to more people about this, build this movement. It's not just about overturning a really abominably stupid and dangerous Supreme Court decision. It's about asserting what kind of country we want to be, what kind of democracy we want, and the basic core principle that we, the people, rule here in our country. Thank you.
Okay, last thing I want to share with you, and this is what we need to go to. This was law in the state of Wisconsin. It was law in every state. Variations of this was law in every state in the Union, from the founding of the Republic until the 1890s, until the charter in Montclair. And we need to bring back this law, but we can't do it until, as Bernie said, Citizens United has been overturned. I'm going to read you an actual law. This was on the books. Actually, this was on the books until 1954. Somebody discovered it and said, "Holy cow, what's this?" And they removed it. But it hadn't been enforced since the late 19th century. It's titled Political Contributions by Corporations. No corporation doing business in this state shall pay or contribute or offer consent or agree to pay or contribute directly or indirectly any money, property, free service of its officers or employees a thing of value to any political party, organization, committee, or individual for any political purpose whatsoever, or for the purpose of influencing legislation of any kind, or to promote or defeat the candidacy of any